You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming, and something on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you on a Let's Play episode of Sileo, Ty's Path. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go! I suppose it would teach me for doubting him. Just like Logan had said, he had cleared the entire platter all on his own. Seriously impressive stuff. I wondered if I had dragged Diego in here if he'd be able to match Logan's record. I was almost certain he would not, but it would be fun finding out. So, blueberry and banana pancakes and a pastry platter. That comes to $58.90. Paying by card? Yep. I handed Jay my card, and he immediately began processing my payment, the first few seconds of which were performed in silence, lulling me into a false sense of security. But I knew it was coming. So, while Logan was occupied in the bathroom, Jay launched into his barrage of questions. You know I've got to ask, right? With a sigh, I leaned forward and rested my weight on my elbows atop the counter. I gave him a reticent look, prompting him to begin the onslaught. I was as ready as I would ever be. Where do I even start? I guess, how long have you known Logan for? I don't know, 2, maybe 3 hours? Was out with some friends, and we happened to be in the same place at the same time. Okay, and you brought him back here, why exactly? Why not? Well, I kept overhearing your discussions. Well, attempts at discussion. More accurately, it's not going very well. We only just met, and I brought him here so I could get to know him better. Woodcrest wasn't built in a day, you know. Looked to me like a rough first date. The kind that doesn't get a second shot. I admit, I'm having a hard time getting him to open up. But you admit that was a date then? I mean, that's not strictly true, but it's not false either. I'm so confused. Where does Ty fit into all this? I groaned, tired of telling everybody what had happened. Tired of having to excuse my behavior. Tired of people's doubt and skepticism. Let's get this crap over with, then. We broke up yesterday. I caught him telling somebody else that he loved them, and he can't even answer me why. I walked in the end. I'd had enough. No way, Ty? Really? You're far from the first person with that reaction. Surely this is some big mistake. If it was, you'd think he would have explained himself to me. Instead, he outright refused. Could they have been family? Maybe it was platonic. A tiger and a raven. Pretty unusual family. And platonic? Not with that choice of words, it wasn't. A raven? The very same you asked about that night at the strip club. The very same. I still don't know shit about him. I'm tired of being kept in the dark. I take it you don't know anything more? It is like I said back then. He comes through every once in a while. I don't know what his deal is. The manager here seems to really respect him, though. Always demands that his meals be free. The raven then slips his cash for payment when the boss isn't looking. Jay returned my card, which I tucked securely into my wallet before collecting my receipt. Reviewing the totals, my eyes rapidly fixed themselves onto the cafe's logo. Café du Vieux Monde. Hey, the name of the cafe, du Vieux Monde. Any ideas where that comes from? It's named after one of the 3 founders of Woodcrest, a guy named Sebastien du Vieux Monde. Heard of him? I have. Tell me, have you ever seen what he looks like? Come to think of it, no. Which is weird, because I know I've seen pictures of the others. Here, check this out. Tell me what you think. I retrieved my phone from my pocket and pulled up the photo Dom had sent me the night prior before showing it to Jay. His response was almost immediate. He had quite clearly come to the same conclusion. He looks just like him! Exactly. Weird, huh? Very. They have to be related to the very least, but it's all very strange. But hold on, does this have anything to do with Ty, or was that a smooth change in topic to avoid the details? Spencer is Ty's other man. You're kidding. Seriously? Seriously, and nobody will tell me what the hell's going on, so would you mind keeping your eyes peeled for me? Let me know if you hear anything that might be important. Of course. I'll keep you in the loop with anything I hear, but I can't guarantee I'll hear anything. I understand. Thank you. But, just so you know, with you and Ty now split, this puts me in an awkward position. It all sounds pretty shitty, but at the end of the day, I need to prioritize this opportunity I've been given with the Black Claws. I hope you understand. I do. Don't worry. I don't mind if you have to keep your nose out of all this, but I would appreciate any help you can lend. Certainly. I'll do what I can. And, hey, what is it? So, Logan, I do hope you're not using him as some kind of distraction from everything, are you? Hunter, you absolutely are. Don't bullshit. Nope, not at all. It's actually a bizarre coincidence we met one another today. Just a completely random encounter. And from the second I laid eyes on him, I just knew I had to have him. I knew I had to try. There's nothing stopping me now. You aren't grieving. Don't seem to be. I guess we were only together for a little while. If anything, I'm just salty about it all. But maybe it wasn't enough time. Maybe I was kind of expecting something to go wrong, and I never made myself vulnerable, or maybe I'm just in shock still. I don't know. So then, Logan and you, what exactly is it you're hoping to achieve with him? Well, nothing involved, but anything else is fair game. Which is code for I would suck his dick until the cows came home, am I right? I mean, you're not wrong. Has to be sensible to have seen it first, yes. I have. It's a big part of what attracted me to him to start off with. We were all at the hot springs and the... Whoa, hold the phone. Hot springs, did you say? We have a hot springs? Yeah. Take those steps up to the overlook north of town, and if you follow the road up a bit, there's an unmarked path leading through the trees to it. Open to the public. Well then, I know what I'm doing on my next day off. As long as you don't mind them being the traditional kind, you know, the only attire allowed is your birthday suit. Oh, hell yes, you were speaking my language. I know exactly who I'm going to ask along. This is going to be great. Anyway, sorry, back on topic. So, what, you just saw he was packing heat and that was the motivation you needed? Jesus Christ. 1 second, y'all, I'll be right back. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's go ahead and jump back into it. Not quite. I've actually been really sensitive to smells recently. I think Ty sort of opened the floodgates for me, and now I think I can smell all kinds of things. Anyway, his smell, oh my god. I gotta pounce on top of him right there and then. Surprised I didn't, to be honest. I just about lost my damn mind. Smells? Interesting. My nose isn't quite so good, but I can smell a few things here and there. I'm happy so long as I don't feel compelled to go... Hey, that's just a wild species. Us two-legged types don't do that. But you would if you could, right? Shut up! I knew it. Anyway, I'm not gonna hassle you over this whole thing. You've got to do what you've got to do. Sometimes that just means sleeping with somebody on a whim. God knows I've done it. How do you think Eric and I met? Now I can say I knew it. Hey, don't judge. The boy wears his desires on his sleeve. He's joyfully uncomplicated, notoriously brazen, and open-minded to boot. He and I have a lot of fun with none of the complexities. Is it a match made in heaven, if I do say so myself? Just make sure you listen to what Logan said, what Logan wants before you listen to what your loins want, okay? I've been in your shoes, and I can say from experience communication is key, even when it comes to the simple stuff. And with Logan, I don't know him well, but even I can tell you he's utter crap at it. So employ your intuition. Pay attention to his body language, his stance, his breathing. They will tell you a lot more than he is likely to. You really do speak from experience, huh? I've seen more action than a war veteran, my most esteemed friend. Alas, it looks as though the object of your newfound affection has returned. Hey, Logan, I've paid up. Ready to head out? Sure. Alright, thanks for the service, Jay, and the advice. Always good to speak to someone with so many hours on the field. Great to speak to someone who has so many hours clocked in having gay sex. What the fuck? Many hours indeed. You two take care, and don't do anything I wouldn't. Somehow I feel like that leaves us with a lot of opportunities. Jay skittered off to serve some newly seated patrons as I struck up something resembling a conversation with Logan, trying to ascertain what our next move would be. So, I take it you probably want to head back home, huh? Yes. Where do you live? Rivermore Close, south side of town. Well, what do you know? I live only a couple blocks from there. If you could endure some more of my company, I'd be quite happy for us to walk together. You want to? Are you kidding? Of course! Two handsome guys walking the waterfront, warming our fur in the afternoon sun. Sounds like my idea of a good time. Okay. Yeah, he liked that. And with the final leg of our outing planned in advance, the two of us set off, making our way to the beginning of the waterfront path that would take us almost all the way back to our respective houses. Having reached the beginning of the waterfront path, both Logan and I walked side by side at a moderate pace. I knew that I had limited time remaining with Logan, that I needed to make it count. My success here would ultimately determine whether I'd capture my prey once and for all. With that in mind, I once again persisted with my attempts at fostering conversation. My previous attempts had been hit or miss, primarily miss, but I nonetheless felt as though the key to my success would lie within the right choice and topic. If I only had some clue with what that could be. So, Logan, do you have any flatmates living with you? Family? Anything like that? No. You live alone then? Yes. Nice! Must be stressful paying rent with arts and crafts. But I bet the privacy is worth it, huh? Yes. What do you do with your time? Like, what does the average day look like for you? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, watch a movie, bed. But you do crafts and two such, right? Where exactly do you fit in? Do you fit that in? Wherever. Okay, is it mostly just horror movies you watch, or do you like other things as well? Mostly horror. Do you really watch a movie every night? Do you usually aim for something new? Most nights, if I can find one. I've watched almost everything. Ah, I see. What's the best one in your opinion? Descendants. Descendants? I haven't heard of that one. Oh, it's a cosmic psychological horror. It messes with the viewer's perception. It's flawless. Wow, do you think I'd survive watching it? Oh, come on, I'm not scared by kids' cartoons anymore. You know, maybe you and I should watch it together one day. I can come over to your house and we can microwave some popcorn, turn down the lights, get all cozy under some blankets. In response to something I had said, Logan stopped dead in his tracks as he looked downward at his feet. I recalled Jay's advice. He hadn't said anything yet, but if I looked closely, perhaps I could decode whatever it was he was feeling. I noticed his arms and legs were held closely to profile. His shoulders were hunched forward slightly, and his stance leaned ever so slightly ajar. He fidgeted with his feet while desperately avoiding eye contact. Almost all these behaviors indicated a state of uncertainty and nervousness. But there was something slightly more to it than just that. I sensed... was it fear? No, not quite. It was intense distrust. I understood the uncertainty. After all, we'd only met that same day. I knew that I was potentially applying too much pressure with my advances, something that was a consequence of how badly I wanted Logan and how little I actually expected to get him. His nervousness could certainly have tied into this, but my gut told me that it was more strongly intertwined with his distrust for me. But why the distrust? I suppose I had spent most of the day trying to chat him up. Perhaps the intensity of my advances had sown that distrust. There was little else that I could pick up from Logan at this point in time, but Jay's suggestion had been a solid one. I had more information to work with now than I would have had otherwise. Information I could use to shape my response more appropriately. I took several large breaths as I recited my forthcoming words over and over again inside my head. At long last, it was go time. Time to see if I was really good, any good at this sort of thing or not. Hey, Logan, it's only normal for you to distrust me. After all, you've only known me for a day, and I admit I've been a little pushy. I apologize for that, by the way. Why are you so interested in me? There are many things I could have said in response to those words. I could have laid it on thick, flirting with the handsome ball of white fluff that stood before me. Admittedly, something that my instinct already encouraged, but perhaps not the right decision at the moment. I could have also bluffed, told him that I was interested in him as a friend, that I wanted to get to know all of his inner workings and whatnot. This hadn't been the case until very, very recently, but I digress. There were myriad other options available to me in terms of what I wanted to say to him and how, but one in particular stood out. I considered the emotions that Logan was experiencing and considered how he might respond to certain scenarios. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!